Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about tuples in Python. First, we'll know what is a tuple. Tuple is a sequence which is similar to a list. The elements inside the tuple are enclosed in the parenthesis. A tuple is immutable, meaning we cannot change the elements inside the tuple. There are two functions, namely list and tuple. So we can use these functions to convert a tuple to a list and a list to a tuple. Now here is an example for understanding this. So first we'll see how to use the list function. Here we are having an input tuple A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a tuple. So we are going to apply the list function on this tuple. So this function list converts a given tuple into the list using the list function. So when we try to print this, so the output will be a list of the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we'll see to use how to use the tuple function. Now we have a list as the input with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the elements. Here we are using a tuple function to convert this list into a tuple. So this tuple function is used to convert a list into a tuple using the tuple function. Now when we try to print this, so we are having the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 which was the input as list. Now it is converted into a tuple. Next, we will discuss about the benefits of a tuple. Tuple are faster than list. Tuple is immutable. Always we can use tuples whenever we have to have a write protected data. Tuples can be used as keys in dictionaries because we know that keys in dictionaries are immutable. So always you can use tuple as your keys. Now let us discuss an example. Here you can see that at the bottom left side you can see we have a tuple 1, 2, 3 and we have one of the element as your list. Okay. Now you can observe in your right side. Okay. Here a tuple is created with 0th index we have 1, first index we have 2, second index we have 3. Now at the third index we are having a list as an input. So at 0th index we have 4 and first index we have 5. Now what we have tried to do is in this third position first 0th index we are trying to change the element to 42, which you can see it is reflected here 42. So when we try to print the final output of T1 you can observe here now the index 0th position is converted into 42. Next we will discuss about or we will see an example of a tuple. Here we can see a tuple with combination of data items. Okay, then we are trying to print it. And then we are trying to change the position 0, which will always raise an error. We know that tuple is immutable. Now how do I do that? How do I change the elements inside the tuple? I can convert it into a list and then I can change it. Now the list function converts this tuple into a list. Now I'm trying to print it. You can see the example here. This tuple is converted to a list. Okay. Now if I want to change any of the position element, then I can change it. Now I see list of 0. I'm just modifying it with a string called modify. Now this is observed here. Now at 0th position already 1 was there. Now it is to modify. So we are trying to print the list which shows at 0th index this string is present. Next we will discuss about the tuple operations. So tuple operations are, first we are seeing about creating a tuple. How do I create a tuple? Tuple name is equal to open and close parenthesis. You separate the data items with a comma. Then if you want to create a single element tuple, then you write one element inside the parenthesis followed by a separator, that is a comma. We can create an empty tuple. Okay, then how do I access the element? I can access the element by the index, so you can specify whatever position inside the bracket. Negative indexing is also possible, so you can give t of -1 always returns the last element in your tuple. Next, when we want to extract a portion of the tuple, then we always use the slicing operation. Okay. Now when we want to concatenate two tuples, then we use the plus operator as concatenation. So which concatenates two tuples and return a merged output of these two tuples. Repetition operator is used to repeat the number of times you want the tuple to be repeated. So this 3 here repeats 3 times the tuple. Okay, we can see here 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1, 2. The length of the tuple can be obtained by len of t, which returns the number of elements in the tuple. Now we can see some more functions and we can see some examples for understanding. Here we have a tuple 1, 2, 3. So we are trying to print it. So you can also see how the index are being assigned for the various elements, that is 1, 2, 3 of your tuple. Now I can create a single element tuple by a separator, which is shown over here. At 0th index you can see 5 is created. Next we can create an empty tuple just by specifying it, and then we can create we are creating again a tuple t is equal to 1, 2, 3, and we are going to perform all these operations. Okay. Now we'll see how all these operations works on the same tuple t is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now when I try to print t of 0, it prints 1, that is 0th index. When I print t of minus 1, it prints the last element. When I say 1, 4, it prints 2, 3. Then this is concatenation. So it concatenates two tuples and prints 1, 2, 3, 4. Repetition, it repeats 3 times, and length gives the number of elements inside the tuple, that is 3. Okay. Some more operations we have. So max value, that is we can find the maximum value using the max function, max of t. Min value is the min of t, so returns the minimum element. Sum of elements calculates or returns the sum of all the elements. This can be applied only to the numbers. Okay. Next is a membership test. Always you can use the operators in to find whether a given element is available in your tuple or not. Iteration, always you can iterate a tuple using the looping statements. Next we have few more functions, that is tuple unpacking. Unpacking is nothing but assigning values to the variables using your tuples. Okay. Then index function returns the index of the first occurrence of your element, whatever you are specifying here. Now we have specified 3. So it will return the index of the first occurrence of 3 in your tuple. Count, here it will count number of times the element returns the number of times the element present in your tuple. Suppose here we are giving t dot count of 2, it returns a count of 2 in your tuple. Now convert list to a tuple. Tuple is in this, we are having list as the input, so we are going to convert that into a tuple using the tuple function. Okay. Now we will see few more functions. Nested tuple. In nested tuple you can see tuple inside tuple. Okay, a tuple is containing another tuple. What is the immutable property? When I try to change a particular index position, it's going to throw an error because tuples are immutable. Then here you can see modifying a tuple, like we have a tuple t which is converted to list, and we are again converting it to a tuple. Okay. Now we will see an example to understand all the things we have discussed so far. So we are creating a tuple t is equal to 10, 20 and 30. Now this is called as unpacking or tuple unpacking. Okay. Now we are assigning a, b, c equal to t. Means the value or elements inside the tuple will be assigned to the variables. You can visualize that here. 10 is allotted to A, 20 is allotted to B, and 30 is allotted to C. Now we are going to check how this index works. We are running an in operator in the if statement. If 3 in T, if 3 is present in T, is going to specify the first occurrence of 3. Otherwise, it's going to print 3 is not in the tuple. So in our tuple, it is not there. So it is returning 3 is not in the tuple. Okay. Now next is count of 2. How many times 2 occurs in your tuple? So it's not there. So it's returning 0. Next, we are applying a tuple function to the list as the input. So it converts it into a tuple. Now this is nested tuple. So what is the nested tuple? You can see here at your 0, 1 first index, you have one more tuple over here with 2 as in 0 index, 3 in first index. Now this is converting a tuple to a list and back to the tuple. So my output, final output will be tuple. I hope this is clear with respect to tuple. Thank you for listening.